Hey everyone, it's Veronica, and welcome to today's episode. If you ever left a job, changed cities, or started something new, hoping it would free you, only to meet the same emotional patterns in a new form, this episode is for you. We will talk about what mindfulness really is and isn't, how ego, asmita, can hijack your perception, and why the phrase, wherever you go, there you are, speaks directly to your journey. You will leave this episode with a deeper understanding of how to recognize when ego is narrating your experience, what it means to pause before reacting or escaping, and a simple embodied mindfulness practice you can use anytime to check in with yourself. So, as we always do, take a breath and let's begin. Wherever you go, there you are. This phrase is deceivingly simple and deeply true. It speaks to the inescapable presence of you in every experience, every location, every new beginning. No matter how far you run, how much you try to change your surroundings, or how many external shifts you make, you are still you, carrying your thoughts, your patterns, your energy, your awareness, or lack of it, into every space you enter. You can move to a new city, start a new relationship, leave a job, begin a healing journey. Unless something inside you changes, unless you meet yourself with presence, compassion, and curiosity, you will find the same challenges dressed in new forms. It's like carrying a heavy backpack stuffed with old papers, unopened mail, outdated beliefs, and emotional weights you've forgotten were there or avoided. You move cities, you start a new chapter, and for a moment there's a rush of excitement, a burst of adrenaline that makes it all feel new. But then you settle. The high wears off, and you realize you've brought the same heaviness with you because the bag never left your back. And that is why presence matters. It helps you pause long enough to unzip the bag, to look at what you've been carrying, and to ask, do I still need this? Is this important to me? Does this matter? What am I avoiding by refusing to unpack it? Mindfulness doesn't just get you to a new place, it shows you what's weighing you down so you can finally choose to let go. It reveals the truth to you in real time. The phrase, wherever you go, there you are, calls out the illusion that changing the outside will solve what's unsettled in the inside. It's a reminder to pause and ask, what am I carrying with me that I haven't faced yet? Am I showing up in this moment with full presence, or am I still haunted by the past? And can I meet myself here fully without trying to escape or fix it? It's about self-awareness. You are the constant in your life. That can feel scary or incredibly empowering. The difference is perspective. Because if you are always there, then you are the one with the power to shift your experience. I remember leaving a job that completely drained me. I thought freedom would rush in the moment I walked away. But 2 months later, the same tightness in my chest showed up in a new place with new people. And that's when it really clicked. The job wasn't the route. I was. My patterns had followed me because wherever you go, there you are. So who are you bringing with you today? And this isn't, and I want to pause here because I get a lot of pushback whenever I share an experience with other people and how I was able to overcome. And a lot of times when I turn inward and I look to see Where am I right now? And it may look like blaming oneself. And I know where that perspective is coming from. But the truth of the matter is, you are the center of your experience. You are the center of the universe. Understanding the state of mind you're in, the consciousness in which you are sitting in, whose seat you are sitting in, the position, your posture in any given moment, you will see it's either you're going to be in the mind of higher awareness, or you're going to be in the mind of the conditioned self, the false self. In yogic philosophy, is mita, the one that clings, the one that judges. So when we look inward and we look to see what is the pattern, what is not just a pattern, but what is this pattern serving? And usually when it's keeping us stuck and it's not allowing us to really fully feel the experience, it's attaching itself to something to avoid a feeling. And so when we look inward, that is what we're trying to, not even trying, that is what we're making space for, is to feel without attaching. And that can be very difficult when we're first releasing, making space and meeting with. It's more so just being with that energy, the emotion. Ismita, ego, will quickly want to analyze and put meaning toward it, attach an identity toward it. But you will notice, and this is part of the process, part of the work, is to see this pattern, this attachment, this clinging. And then you can be able to be with the feeling, and then you're able to meet that feeling without attaching a story. I know it's maybe sounds a little difficult to understand, but it's only when you're able to be with that experience you will see the power in being with the feeling without attaching itself to a story. John Kabat-Zinn, this book here, this book here, the book Wherever You Go, There You Are, is a gentle bell reminding you that the journey isn't about arriving somewhere new, but fully being where you are now. It's mindfulness not as a task, but as a way of being, seeing, and remembering. It asks, can you meet yourself in this breath without needing to fix or escape it? Can you pause long enough to feel the ground beneath your feet? And can you trust yourself that you don't need to become someone else to belong to yourself? I've lived parts of this truth through my own journey, returning to my body, shedding false identities, and aligning with what's real. And maybe this is the deepest truth of all. You are the home you've been seeking. Because when you realize wherever you go, there you are, it becomes undeniable. You are the common thread in every experience. So, to live in alignment, to find peace, to feel whole, you must turn inward, not to fix yourself, but to remember who you are. And ego, your false self, Asmita, is the one always whispering, you need to be better. You're broken. Just fix this and you'll be worthy. But presence says, come back to you, just as you are, right here. So, what is mindfulness really? In Wherever You Go, There You Are, John Kabat-Zinn beautifully defines mindfulness, and it hits differently when you read it slowly. Not knowing that you are even in such a dream is what the Buddhists call ignorance or mindlessness. Being in touch with this not knowing is called mindfulness. Mindfulness is the moment you realize I've been asleep, living inside a dream I didn't know I was in, but now I am waking up. It's what meets you in the middle of fear based impulses, in old reaction to pattern, past and future looping, ego based identity and meaning making, a breath held too long. And instead of running, fixing, or bypassing, you pause, you feel, you stay. That is mindfulness. This might look like catching your breath before speaking, feeling your shoulders before they tense, or pausing long before, or pausing before reaching for a distraction. Mindfulness isn't the end of the dream, it's the beginning of awareness. It's being in touch with the not knowing, the humbling, raw moment when you say, I don't actually know what's true right now, but I'm here and I'm willing to see it and feel it. Okay, back to the episode. I had a cough, a coughing break. Let's return. Mindfulness has been watered down into a buzzword or a tool for productivity, but it's not a strategy. It's a return to truth. Mindfulness is not just being aware of your thoughts. It's not simply noticing your surroundings. It's not about staying calm and achieving stillness. And it's not about a morning routine checkbox. Mindfulness is the embodied presence that interrupts the loop in real time, not with judgment, but with witnessing. It's the difference between saying, I noticed a pattern today, awareness, and I'm feeling into the pattern now and I'm staying with it, mindfulness. Mindfulness is not simply being aware. Awareness can look back and name what happened. However, mindfulness is the presence that meets that moment as it unfolds. It's the quiet force that catches the impulse before it becomes a loop, a thought before it hijacks your breath, the tension before it turns into defense, the inherited pattern before it plays out again. Most of the time, the ego moves faster than the body can speak. Mindfulness is how we pause, ground, and slow down enough to feel what's real before it becomes a story or a rerun. A few weeks ago, I received a book in the mail. One I knew I was featured in, a teaching resource that included my work. I opened it with anticipation. My name wasn't there. My video was referenced and my website was linked through a QR code, but no name was provided, no acknowledgement. And meanwhile, page after page listed others as names, their faces, and credits. I felt a rise in my chest, the sting, the ego story loading. They didn't see you. You don't matter. But something different happened this time. I saw the story, but I didn't follow it. I walked to the lake instead and I sat with the ache. I breathed. I let the energy move. And in that space, a deeper voice returned. You didn't say yes to be seen. You said yes because it was true. That's mindfulness, not bypassing the pain, but staying with it. The book is still beautiful. And so is the moment I chose myself again. This is what makes mindfulness so vital in nervous system work, emotional integration, and caring enough for healing to take place. Because if you can catch the moment, you can choose again. The conditioned self, what yoga calls asmita, and what you will hear me probably say multiple times when talking about ego, because I'm trying to clarify the difference between the healthy ego, the sense of self that is rooted in truth, in wholeness, and not the fragmented self, the one that's been conditioned, which is what I call asmita, operates in preset patterns. It moves quickly, protects quickly, and reacts quickly. But your body is slower. It speaks through breath, sensation, tension, and rhythm. Mindfulness is what allows you to feel before reacting, pause before projecting, respond from truth instead of fear. And this is why I say healing is not something you do. It's what you are when you care enough to be fully present with what is. And mindfulness is one of the highest forms of care you could offer yourself. And it must be whole. True mindfulness honors the totality of who you are, not just the witness of the mind, but the truth of your body and the quiet knowing of your spirit. Presence is not partial, and anything less is not mindfulness. Mindfulness is not a skill to master. It's a practice of remembering that your body is speaking, that your breath is here, that the truth does not rush, and that this moment does not need to be perfect. It just needs to be met. So next time you're caught in a loop, pause and ask, can I stay with this instead of escaping it? That moment, that's mindfulness. And that's you coming back home. Here's a simple practice to meet yourself wherever you are. So try this. Before you move into your day or the next task, take a few quiet moments. Grab your journal or simply close your eyes and stand in front of a mirror and breathe. Ask yourself, what have I been carrying lately, physically, emotionally, mentally, spiritually, that feels heavy? What patterns have been repeating? And where do I feel them in my body? If I can unzip that backpack and take one little thing that I no longer need, what would it be? Breathe into whatever arises. No fixing, no judging, just witnessing. Because that's mindfulness. And that's you. Thank you for being with me here today. I'll see you on the next one.